Boop, hey guys, it's WormConnell007 here, and I'm going to show you how I got my main, but also an alt account using the same team to the leaderboard. It's not perfect, guys, but it worked for me, and I'll take you through the team individually. There's many different plays. I've got myself up to diamond on my main, and I got told that it was because I'd done so many battles, so I took this alt account and I used it in battles to see how quick I'd get it. I think it was 23 or 28 games, and got back onto the leaderboard just to show that this team was worthwhile. I was going to do the whole grind, but it was like 3 hours of editing, so it's a bit ridiculous. If you haven't already, guys, do subscribe, trying to get to 10k, and hit the like button. I'm going to take you through the team individually here and then show you a battle, and I'll kick off from there. The first doodle on my team is Mould. This has been absolutely fundamental to my gameplay and my style, to be honest with you. With Mould, as you can see, I've put in the positives in health and defense. I use it for a lot of swap-ins, and I run Spiky Thorns just to get that chip on. But where I use this in the metagame is like things like Abyssant. When it comes in fin slashes, couple it up with your ability, which is Stormwater. Basically, then gives you that ability to pressure the other team now that your magical attacks get boosted as well. Really, really good to come in on those rusts as well. Which is pretty cool. The way I've set it up, you can actually basically take down Jericera as well. You can take a Hemlock hit and you can Cone of Cold it and kill it. And if it doesn't, if you get a low roll, if he hits you, then the Thorns will generally take care of it as well. So it's been really, really fundamental to my gameplay and my style. As you can see, you could run Poisonous Skin. It is an option as well. But Mould, because of its typing alone, it's really, really good. The fact that you can come in, there's a lot of water in the meta game at the moment. So having that ability to come in onto the poison, it's really good for like Fruitoad swap-ins. Like if you can see Fruitoad come in, you can drop it in. Fruitoads will generally just hit takeout, and you're essentially just chipping it away. To get on ranked, you need to make sure that you are maximizing the ability of using your chips and understand the gameplay as well. The moves that are run is very simple. So Goo Blast is really good for stab, as you'll imagine. This works out really well when you've got things like, as I say, like you got like Fruitoads, you've got Skidings, you've got things like Octonauts, Grotto as well, weakened Grotto. This pressures it a bit as well, which is pretty cool. Siren Song for me is really good because essentially it's got a 10%, obviously it's stab, but there's a 10% chance that you could put somebody to sleep. That sleep could win you that game. It really could. So you're kind of banking on RNG, but at the same time, ideally you want to do it for a bit of damage and to pressure it out. Wave shot is really good because I needed something to remove hazards from the team. Whether it's bees or you can obviously swap in because of its typing as well and pick up lingering poison, which is really good. But wave shot for me was really good to remove bees, and you'll see why it's really important that I need to make sure there was no bees on the field. And Cone of Cold gives you good, decent coverage come through. Now, as I said, this is the way I run it. Move wise, you could go on. You do have options. You got access to Hex now at level 46. You can run Harmony, put somebody to sleep as well. I did run Rust for a while instead of Wave Shot, just to hit those metal typings as well, which is pretty cool. You could also even go to the point of running either Food Fight on it or even potentially Climate Shot. So Mold as a doodle is really, really good. I wanted mine to be kind of defensive all around. So I run Eggshell for the melee defense, Festive Bow for the magical defense. I'm not going to use my attack at all, and I'm not overly concerned about speed. It's got an okay speed tier, and then Pizza Slice just to kind of couple it up as well. So that's Stinky. That's my Mold. Really, really good. And I say, once you get those Stormwaters off as well, it just adds that extra pressure on it. But for me, this has been an absolute fundamental part of my team. First of all. The second member of my team is Carcass Picker, which is for Gill. Now, understanding for Gill and how to use it properly is pretty simple, but people also forget with its basic typing, it lets you swap into spirit types pretty easy, which is pretty good to be honest with you. So it's always worth remembering that. Going through it, the item used was Enchanted Ruby. Because I want this thing just to do damage. Um, I invested in attack and speed. A lot of people would always go health and attack. I like the idea of being outspeeding things because I know I'm going to hit people hard, I would rather kind of speed creep them, to be honest with you. Some people will prefer health. Bird of Prey was obviously my intention to go with the nature. Like for this took care of things like Rotera, and other air types as well. To be honest with you, was because obviously it allows you to hit super effective. So for me, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Other people do kind of like the other ability, which allows you to kind of nosedive without kind of taking a bit of recoil. I forget the name of it. Let me just double check. But yeah, some people prefer the run. Was it graceful, isn't it? So it never misses. Yeah, for me, Bird of Prey. I, there's too many air types in this metagame, basically, is what I'm saying. The moves that are run is Jet Strike, so you could sit there and be up against Rotera, Jet Strike it, kill it, unless it's Determination Jelly, you should take it down, to be honest with you. Hit and run allows you to get out of being locked in, because don't forget, running Enchanted Ruby, you're going to end up getting locked into that as well. Careless Assault wins games. It's that simple, guys. Careless Assault wins games. If you bring Fragile in when the team's been chipped around left, right, and centre, you could potentially just Careless Assault and bring you home all day long, which I think is amazing, to be honest with you. The last move I changed. I kind of got stuck in between silver and gold on my main for a while, before I actually finalized with this team. But I got stuck in this, and I forget what my last move was, but I didn't have Reckless. I put Reckless in. It let me hit Montour swap-ins. Hit it twice. Montour's gone. Montour is everywhere. It also lets you hit those metal types pretty decent. It also allows you to apply a bit of pressure onto things like skidding. You're not going to necessarily knock it out, but it allows you to do it. But moving Reckless Charge onto for Gill for me was absolutely pinnacle. It was really important to do that. But you find if you start using this, being with Ruby and Careless Assault, you'll absolutely smack things all day long. But having that priority in your locker to bring it in later in the game as well will win you games, guys. Equipment around on it. Smolder and Hood so I can hit as hard as possible. Juniper necklace again. I wanted a wee bit more health and speed in there together, and decorative katana again to hit as well. So guys, for me, for Gale, it's a game winner. For Gale, will probably be the difference between getting you from gold to platinum, or silver to gold. This will be the thing that will carry you time and time again. I remember my team is Clangatang. If you don't know anything about Clangatang, where have you been hiding? Yes, guys, I'm running Cursed Cloak. I'm going back to the good old days, but honestly, this thing still carries. I know some people like running Ruby, some people like running Champions Belt. For me, I kind of use this as a pivot point, not to pivot out, but basically to take damage and bring other things in, but also to apply pressure. You need to be wary of things like rust. You with this set, you potentially, if you're full health, you might be able to take one rust, from non-water type doodles, but yeah, you need to be aware of that. So I'm running the health and attack. I want to put as much health into it, but I also want to make sure I can apply a bit of pressure. Slash expert, because we're running slashing moves mainly. Now going into the moves on this one, guys. Swift hook wins games. Um, and whether having that bit of priority on it honestly will win you games. And sometimes you just got to take that chip. You may not want to try and bank and hold on to it. You might need to do Swift Hook because of the typing of it as well. It may be able to be the difference between you hitting an Awakened Thornet early to put you in range for something else, or it could be the difference between you hitting a Skidine to put you in range for something else. Because essentially, your speed tier is not great. Okay, but looking at that, it's really important. Iron Slash again with its ability goes really well, and Stab as well. You will hit that quite a lot. Tri Elemental, really important. You know yourself. You're going to start with fire, fire, ice, and lightning. Really important to understand that, and then obviously Shatter for stab, but also to remove those walls. So you will potentially be using all of these. Where you're going to use Clang is very simple. If you're up against like things like Montour, just bring it in. Cerebral Pod, bring it in. Coral Lizard is pretty evident. They will hit tainted water. You can take one, you can pressure out, and you can go on that. You can sometimes take two, depending on the Coral Lizard that you're up against. So, for me, this year is really important. Also, its taping sometimes just carries. To be honest with you, the equipment do that for attack plus the extra defense, HP and Juniper for HP and a wee bit of speed, and then the chewed up bone for the attack because we're never going to use our magical attack. So again, this year for me is a really good pivot point. Just coming in on things like potentially even coming in taking a hit from a Hatrix from a mind type move. And if they're locked in, well, then happy days. We can iron slash them. We should be able to take at least a couple of hits from that as well. So for me, Clang played an absolute pivotal part in my team as well. This is by far the funnest doodle you can use. Yeah, guys, I used Laser, and this thing's an absolute demon if you use it right. It can just break people's hearts. It can win games, but you need to use it right. Now, if you do PvP for a while, you'll know when to swap things in, when not to swap things in. The laser does require a bit of skill to be able to use it, to be honest with you, and skill in terms of when to bring it in, when to apply pressure, and then you just push buttons. So it's fun. Let's just put it that way. Items, obviously, sniper scope, guys. We're going to run this with speed and attack. Precise, so more likely to crit as well. So very good. Moves, guys, very simple. Leaf Blade goes to 100% crit rate, and it's going to be stab. Crystal Cut loves things like Volta 2, those electric types coming in. If you can predict a swap on it, oh, beautiful. Sometimes they'll, have something that they think they can deal with the Leaf Blade. Crystal Cut's your automatic go-to. Venom Lacer, again, it's amazing. You can hit, things like for Gill, for instance, for super effective, and you've got the odd chance of poisoning. So these three are always really good. I actually got into a bit of debate about this last one. I did run Rust, done nothing for me. I'll be honest with you, done absolutely nothing. It does get access to Dark Slash. You could run that. But I ended up running Disarm. And Disarm is, if you can remove items from people, it can be the difference between you winning and losing the game, to be honest with you. You could be removing thorns off something. The problem that you have here with Laser is when you bring it in, you need to make sure you aren't dealing with any kind of pursuit trappers. If you can see something there that, can potentially pursuit trap you, then if you're going to go in, you're going to take a hit. And if you know they're going to hit pursuit, then what you do is you hit Crystal Cut or Leaf Blade just to apply as much pressure as possible because this thing here, it's really good. Like, I'll give you an example. If you can predict, say, a Rust coming in or an Earth Surge, anything Bubble has, for example, you could come in and take that hit and hit Leaf Blade. If you are in range of taking a Jira down, you could bring it in, just take that wee hit of a Hemlock, and then come in and pressure it as well. It's a really fun doodle. If you can see a Fruit Toad coming in, predict it, double into it, hit Leaf Blade, you're either going to take that Fruit Toad down, or else you're going to hit something quite decent as well. If you can see something swapping in its electric type, Crystal Cut, really fun. Or if you're not too sure, you just hit Disarm, and then you at least take an item with you as well. And also, because of the item, there's a chance that you'll potentially crit as well with the Disarm. So really fun doodle. Love it. Favorite team member by far. The items you want to run on that is Smoldering Hood for the attack. You want to run Ornate for the HP and a bit of attack and defense, but also Potted Cactus for that attack and speed. Yeah, you just want to kind of max out your speed and be able to hit as hard as you can. The fifth member on my team is Polargeist, and wow, if you can get this thing working well, it's a bit of a demon. Especially in the lower levels when you're going for like bronze, silver, gold. Um, you're not going to the same caliber player you're against, and this thing will probably carry you. Um, Now they've kind of got the diamond and kind of high platinum, I'll probably have to swap this out, but this here thing should really help you out. Now you're going to run in Enchanted Sapphire. Don't forget its typing is obviously Spirit and Ice, so again it does have its times to come in. Very well. If you look at it, speed and magical attack, you want this thing to be as quick as possible, and you want to run the hidden trait, which is Ice Stream. Again, this here is actually what I would say is probably a no-brain doodle, but at the same time, if you've got a brain cell and you can use this, well, it'll work out really well. Moves obviously is going to be Cone of Cold. Again, if you push this when you're at full health, you are going to always act first. Now, you need to be understand if you can see things like Fruitoad coming in, Feral Fury is your friend, to be honest with you. The difficulty with Polargeist is when you're going against higher players, they will have things like Pursuit, and they will Pursuit trap you, and to be honest with you, that'll ruin you. They'll also be able to see your team, and they'll see B summon. If they get a B summon off, you are losing your priority instantly. So when you're thinking you're going to hit all those birds early doors, you're not. Boo's good for stab. Can help you with the likes of the seams. Gem Blast, I just don't hit it. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't, because the problem is with this, and it's something I'm actually gonna review. I don't ever hit Gem Blast. I'm gonna have a look at it, because whenever I hit this, you know, the doodles that are usually left, it's probably not usually effective, to be honest with you on it. So, it also has 90% accuracy. It can help you lose games, to be honest with you. So I generally stick to these three, to be honest with you. Equipment, guys, Marshmallow Fedora, Dark Brooch, and Stick. Again, you want to obviously max out your magical attack as best as you possible. But as I said, it's literally a case of just hitting Cone of Cold and winning games. You probably, if you do it right, if you can hold us back to late game and there's no hazards, well then you're laughing. But that's where the wave shot on Mould is really, really important to remove those hazards out of the way. So really, really fun doodle to use. Probably not for the higher tier play, but it will get you up those ranks. So you will probably need to pivot this out eventually. Final team member of my team is Awaken Mothra. To be honest with you, the first thing I will say to you is know when you should not awaken. By that, don't forget your typing changes away from bug to metal. So if you can see a rust coming, you might not want to awaken, to be honest with you, but awaken Mothra is absolutely superb, guys. So understanding your typings, when's best to awaken and when's not. That's the first bit of advice that I would say to you. I'm running mine by attack and defense. I am running the trait poisonous skin on this. Just obviously here, if I am taking an attack on it, you can run leech or the hidden trait. It might even be a bit better, but I run it this way, and that's my personal preference, because sometimes I'll swap it in and just hope for a bit of RNG. But yeah, you can run the hidden trait as well. Both work. Moves, guys, I'm going to run is Chemical Cleave. I did run Venom Bite, and then Awakened Skadine appeared. For me, it's really important that you remove those stat boosts as much as possible. If not, Venom Bite will also work out as well. Shatter can be one of your most probably click buttons, to be honest with you. The amount of things that are in the poison and metal category that are in the meta at the moment, you'll see quite a lot of them. So Shatter can be your friends. Use it against like things like Core Lizard. Even don't forget, Shatter can also be used against things that have thorns but not take chip. So again, it is often smart to be aware of that. Quick Sting wins games. Having that priority in your back pocket wins games. Also, that bug typing can be the difference, hitting something super effective and not. So it's really good. And Iron Slash is obviously there for stab. It also gives you a chance of vulnerable if you're lucky enough to get it. Happy days. But what you should be also be thinking is if there's birds in play, sometimes Iron Slash is better, because a lot of things will run potentially something that might be metal or crystal and kind of duck out of the Chemical Cleave. So understanding what is best to do, and this comes with practice. The difference that will be here is Awaken Mothra's ability will obviously lower the impact of super effective moves. You want to make sure that you're quite beefy in what you do. So with the set that I'm running, I just wanted to really put pressure on people, to be honest with you. So I use Smouldering Hood, a bit of HP, and attack with Swag Juice and Oakwood as well for the attack. Now, you could Chewed Up Bone should actually be better actually than this, but I've just got Oakwood Staff just because of what I had on it available at the moment. But you could go on, and I would probably say use Chewed Up instead of the Oakwood Staff. But looking at this, Awakened Mothra's HP and defense stats are, well, more of the defense stats on his HP are really, really good. But being able to apply pressure and predicting swaps is really important. So for me, key things are know when to awaken, know when not to awaken. If in doubt, Iron Slash is probably your best move, but Quick Sting with that priority then helps you out. So that's my full team, guys. So as you can see, you know, come into some defensive hits, apply physical pressure, come into some magical hits, apply critical hits left, right, and center, sweep, apply pressure, magical attacks, and again, be able to take hits and to dish out a bit more pressure. There's nothing based on stall, nothing like that. There's no there's no core in fair core. There's no fruit toad here. It's all about putting pressure on and using attack and sense. This works for me, may not work for you, but guys, it's also about knowing when to double. It may take time for you guys to learn as well. So I'll just leave you off with a battle here just after this. I'm not going to do any commentary on it because I'm sure you're bored of my voice already. But yeah, in the game, it did predict a switch in for bees to try and get Polargeist in, but well, you'll see. Didn't work out well. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and if you want more videos like this. Obviously, I want to get into showcases as well, and I've got a load of stuff ready to go, and I'll use it in ranked in proper play as well. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll leave you off with a battle.